government. They have the essential task of assessing how taxpayers' money is used and whether the measures taken are transparent, sustainable, and inclusive.
COVID-19 has exacerbated our systemic vulnerabilities to crises and exposed the failure of macroeconomic governance, as 40 out of 43 countries are experiencing an unprecedented increase in debt to GDP ratio in the Asia Pacific alone. Yet, business as usual continues, as almost 96% of the support provided by multilateral banks and international financial institutions to Asia Pacific countries in 2020 are loans, with meager amounts in grants or debt relief. On the other hand, inequalities have been on the rise. Less than 1% of the region's 4.6 billion population is worth almost 54 times more than the combined GDPs of Asia Pacific's least developed countries, further widened by the pandemic. So rather than pushing the poorest countries for economic self-reliance, financing for development processes should help them address corporate capture, debt distress, illicit financial flows, tax evasions, and neoliberal instruments like investor-state dispute settlement. The very lesson from COVID-19 is to strengthen public healthcare systems, enfeebled by massive privatizations. And yet, almost 76 out of 91 IMF-negotiated loans in 2020 pushed for further belt tightening that could result in deep cuts to public healthcare and social protection systems. Such systemic issues have escalated health crises into economic, social, and environmental crises. As a result, decades of progress on poverty, hunger, health and education, gender, water and sanitation, inequalities, climate action, and stronger institutions is being reversed. The transformative new social contract requires urgent action to redress inequalities within and among countries, reconfigure power relations across socio-economic and political spheres, dismantle neoliberal capitalism, democratize governance, and ensure climate justice.
COVID-19 has intensified the need for accelerated, united action in light of the devastating toll the pandemic is taking on global health, social and environmental security, and progress on Agenda 2030. Interlinked challenges such as COVID-19, climate change, diminished biodiversity, and continuing crises rooted in economic, judicial, and human rights inequalities inform our call for accelerated action. While some people have access to healthcare, medicines, and vaccines, too many suffer without recourse. While human rights abuses go unpunished and access to justice remains the domain of the few, societies will not know peace and inclusion. These are well-worn truths. But civil society plays a pivotal role in advocating for healthy lives and well-being, reversing widening inequality, and promoting a peaceful, inclusive world.
There is broad agreement among governments that we need new global tax rules, but we still don't have an inclusive body where those rules can be negotiated. Instead, decision-making on global tax rules is being led by the G7, the G20, the OECD, which is also known as the Rich Countries Club. This is resulting in rules that do not reflect the interest of the world's poorest countries, but also in rules that do not effectively ensure that the world's wealthiest corporations and individuals pay their share of taxes and do not represent a global consensus.
When it comes to international negotiations, we as UN youth representatives experience many hurdles in our advocacy and negotiation efforts. Young people are described as active agents of peace, which means that equal treatment and representation should occur. We want to change the narrative from passive stakeholders to active shareholders. This is why we are also working on the establishment of a framework for the youth in order to participate as equals in negotiations. This notion was agreed upon by all member states in SDG16, and this so-called generational test will be our main tool to translate that notion into practice. In conclusion, by the words of the former Secretary General Kofi Annan, we are never too young to lead, and you are never too old to learn.
This youth-led campaign pleads the UN member states to request an advisory opinion from the International Court of Justice and the linkage between climate change and human rights, as well as the integration of the concept of intergenerational justice.
International governance, standards and rules for trade, investments, taxation, and financial flows must underpin national efforts to achieve more equal and inclusive societies.
6 years into the implementation of the 2030 Agenda, the international community is still off track on achieving SDG 16+, and we've unfortunately seen further stagnation and even serious backsliding of progress. even before the COVID-19 crisis. Civic space is shrinking, human rights abuses are on the rise, faith and trust in institutions is waning, conflict and fragility is deepening, and inequalities are widening, leading to blossoming protest movements in many countries where people still feel left behind.
We need to continue to seek cooperative approach to shared challenges, not only to be better prepared and to create resilience for future shocks and crises, but also to reinforce trust and strengthen security for all.
As we continue to relentlessly encroach on nature and degrade ecosystems, we endanger human health. We need to rethink our relationship with nature and build back better. It has been recognized that business as usual is no longer an option. We need to rethink the way we generate wealth, the way we live, produce, consume, move, and eat. We must shift to a new paradigm of resource use that is socially equitable, economically resilient, and environmentally healthy. Research by UNEP International Resource Panel proves that it is possible.
Muchas gracias. Saludo a todos los.
And greetings to all the participants in this important political forum. The indigenous peoples have indicated that the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development and the SDGs provide us with a historical and unique opportunity to ensure that the more than 370 million indigenous people in at least 90 countries are not left behind. And yet, we continue to be victims of serious violations of human rights.
Access to justice for all persons with disability who have experienced gender-based violence during the pandemic by guaranteeing accessibility and reasonable accommodation in the judicial process.
So this meeting is adjourned, and thank you very much again to all of you for your active participation.
Dr. S.M. Munir is a dynamic personality with diverse experience in various sectors, including tanneries, textiles, and banking. He is the chairman, Dean Textile Mills Limited, and director, Dean Pharma Products Limited. He is a consummate industrialist and was awarded with the Best Export Performance Trophy by the Federation of Pakistan Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Gold Medallion Award from the International Export Association, United Kingdom. Dr. S.M. Munir was awarded Ambassador of Hope by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, on 15th January 2021. Dr. S.M. Munir was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the President of Pakistan in 2012. He was also awarded Sitara-e-Isar and Sitara-e-Imtiaz in 2006 and 2007 respectively by the President of Pakistan in recognition of his outstanding public services for the cause of humanity. His contributions and achievements go beyond the economic sphere into the education sector as well. Greenwich University bestowed upon him the honoris causa degree in recognition of his tremendous services for the business sector.
मैं तमाम जितने पेरेंट्स हैं जो बच्चे आज ग्रेजुएट हो रहे हैं उनको मुबारकबाद देता हूँ। तमाम पेरेंट्स को यकीन दिलाता हूँ कि ग्रीनविच यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़े हुए बच्चे आपके लिए एसेट साबित होंगे। ये आगे जाके अच्छे काम करेंगे, आपका भी नाम रोशन करेंगे और अपने मुल्क का नाम भी रोशन करेंगे। एक चीज़ और भी मैं कहना चाहता हूँ अपने स्टूडेंट्स को कि वालिदैन की इज़्ज़त करें, जो वालिदैन मशवरा दें उस पर अमल करें, कि बड़ों का तजर्बा हमारे से बहुत ज़्यादा होता है। हम समझते हैं आप बहुत समझदार हो गए, नहीं, टाइम लगता है, एवरीथिंग टेक्स टाइम। तो आप अपने वालिदैन की इज़्ज़त करें, उनकी बात सुने, उनकी पीस ऑफ एडवाइस को हुक्म मानें।
My name is Ishan Shah. I'm a proud alumni of Greenwich University, batch of 95. I was Dean's List here as well, apparently, and yeah, it's been great. The memories are tremendous. It's great to see everybody out here as we celebrate all these years. I'm basically from the banking profession and I'm part of the media and broadcasting, and all of that combined, it's been a fabulous, fantastic experience to be part of this institution. I wish you all well and hope that we meet again. Take care and have a great day.
Mr. Ali Jilani, He's a development practitioner focused on democratization of state and society in Pakistan, with over 10 years of advocacy at the national, regional, and global level. He has expertise in capacity building, advocacy, and research for governance reforms concerning access to justice, political, economical equality, human rights, social development, and environmental protection. He currently serves with the Karachi Research Chair, a policy think tank driven for evidence-based advocacy around sustainable development. Mr. Tilani, the floor is yours.
Thank you, moderator, and APRSM for the opportunity. The decade of action and delivery for sustainable development can only be realized if systemic barriers like global inequalities of wealth, power, and resources, international economic, trade, and monetary frameworks, militarism and conflict, patriarchal authoritarianism, marginalizing governance, shrinking democratic spaces, as well as a guilt-free pass on means of implementation commitments are addressed. The unprecedented COVID-19 crisis has reinforced the need to address such vulnerabilities caused by neoliberal globalization and flawed macroeconomic governance. ODA is falling short of its commitment of 0.7% of GNI, evident of the fact that only 6 countries could meet their ODA targets in 2017, with the overall contribution amounting to $147.2 billion against the required investment of US $5 to $7 trillion to achieve the SDGs. On the flip side, wealth and resources continue to flow from developing countries through illicit financial flows, tax evasions, capital flows, asset stealth, trade mispricing, and profit shifting by multinational corporations, where the data shows that the developing economies lost over 7.8 trillion between 2004 and 2013. With the outflows increasing at 6.5% every year, twice as fast as the global GDP. The terms of discussion around official development assistance need to change from an act of benevolence to that of responsibility for global north, reckoning the historical debt owed to the developing world after centuries of colonial plunder and its continued patterns through neo-imperial neoliberal tactics. People of the Asia-Pacific reject official development assistance used to catalyze private sector engagement, achieve trade, military, and political objectives of donor countries, and its substitution with climate financing, refugee costs, or debt cancellation as recently proposed by the Development Assistance Committee. ODA needs to be reformed, reviewed for impact, and held accountable for failure to deliver on the commitments rather than being reduced to buzzworded negotiation outcomes going 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Debt stress is another key challenge exacerbated by COVID-19, where increased debt financing along with economic downturn will lead to higher government debt to GDP ratio expected to rise to 49% in 2021 among the least developing countries, while the pandemic generally affecting a much larger group of 40 out of 43 countries in the Asia Pacific. Reiterating the Secretary General's appeal reckoning COVID-19 situation, we cannot resort to the usual tools in such unusual times, so we need strong multilateral commitments to address debt distress, having pushed poor countries into generational debt traps, leaving virtually no fiscal space for effective COVID recovery or sustainable development priorities. Trade as a critical MOI need to be democratized through structural reforms prioritizing people and the planet over profits, upholding the essence and multidimensionality of the Agenda 2030, safeguarding state policy space. Localization of SDGs shouldn't mean the absence of accountability mechanism at the global level to ensure the establishment of global reform entities for SDGs compatibility impact assessment of taxation architecture, trade and investment agreements, and synergizing multilateral cooperation to avoid corporatocratization of the globe. Rather than pushing the poorest countries for economic self-reliance, the processes should help them address macroeconomic pressures embodied in hegemonic trade agreements through conditions of market deregulation, massive privatizations, corporate capture of resources and governance, and neoliberal instruments like ISDS, among others. In terms of technology,
the corporate control of data as the raw material for the fourth industrial revolution, and concentration of technological innovation in the hands of a few technology giants must not be allowed to compromise privacy, hinder technology transfer, impede the capacity of developing countries to develop their technological capacity, marginalize human workforce, or undermine local knowledge systems. Policy emphasis on digitization and technological advancement must ensure a civil society-led thorough review of the potential adverse effects on the environment, the social, cultural, economic, civic, and political rights of the people. Our decade of action demands the dismantling of neoliberal development framework that destroys the environment, starves people of resources, and strips them of rights, and criminalizes those who stand for justice. The people of the Asia Pacific demand development justice. If the Agenda 2030 is to be endorsed as the global social contract between people and governments of the world, it's high time they walk the talk. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Jelani, for those very cogent comments. I'm sure that the participants have taken note of them and will bring them up in the breakout discussions.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. شروع اللہ کے نام سے جو بڑا مہربان نہایت رحم والا ہے. الرحمن وہ جو نہایت مہربان ہے. علم القرآن خلق الانسان تعلیم فرمائی اسی نے قرآن کی پیدا کیا اسی نے انسان کو. علمہ البیان سکھایا اسی نے بولنا اس کو. الشمس والقمر بعصبان سورج اور چاند پابند ہیں ایک حساب کے. والنجم والشجر يسجدان اور جھاڑیاں اور درخت اس کو سجدہ کر رہے ہیں. والسماء رفعها ووزع الميزان اور آسمان کو بلند کیا اسی نے اور قائم کر دیا میزان عدل. الا تطغوا في الميزان تاکہ نہ تجاوز کرو حد سے نظام میزان میں. وَأَقِيمُوا الْوَزْنَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَا تُخْسِرُوا الْمِيزَانَ اور قائم کرو صحیح تول انصاف کے ساتھ اور مت کم کرو تولتے وقت. وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا لِلْأَنَامِ اور زمین بچھائی اسی نے خلقت کے لیے. فِيهَا فَاكِهَةٌ وَالنَّخْلُ ذَاتُ الْأَكْمَامِ اس میں میوے ہیں اور کھجور کے درخت ہیں جن کے خوشوں پر غلاف ہوتے ہیں. والحب ذو العصف والریحان اور اناج بھوسے والا اور خوشبودار پھول. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے. خلق الانسان من صلصال كالفخار پیدا کیا اسی نے انسان کو ٹھیکرے کی طرح کھنکھناتی مٹی سے. وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ مِن مَّارِجٍ مِّن نَّارٍ اور پیدا کیا اس نے جنات کو شعلے سے آگ کے. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے. رب المشرقین ورب المغربین رب دونوں مشرقوں اور رب دونوں مغربوں کا. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے. مرج البحرین یلتقیان رواں کیے اس نے دو دریا جو آپس میں ملتے ہیں. بینہما برزخ لا یبغیان دونوں میں ہے ایک آڑ نہیں کرتے تجاوز. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے. يَخْرُجُ مِنْهُمَا اللُّؤْلُؤُ وَالْمَرْجَانُ نکلتے ہیں ان دونوں میں سے موتی اور مونگے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
وَلَهُ الْجَوَارِ الْمُنشَآتُ فِي الْبَحْرِ كَالْأَعْلَامِ
اور اسی کے ہیں جہاز بھی جو اونچے کھڑے ہوتے ہیں سمندر میں پہاڑوں کی طرح.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ
جو کچھ ہے اس زمین پر اس کو فنا ہونا ہے اور باقی رہے گی ذات تیرے رب کی جو صاحب جلال اور احسان کرنے والا ہے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
يَسْأَلُهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
مانگتا ہے اسی سے جو کوئی ہے آسمانوں میں اور زمین میں، ہر روز وہ کسی کام میں ہوتا ہے. تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّهَ الثَّقَلَانِ
ان قریب ہم فارغ ہوتے ہیں تمہاری طرف اے دو بوجھل جماعتوں، جن اور انسان.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
يَا مَعْشَرَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ إِنِ اسْتَطَعْتُمْ أَن تَنفُذُوا مِنْ أَقْطَارِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ فَانفُذُوا لَا تَنفُذُونَ إِلَّا بِسُلْطَانٍ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
اے گروہوں جنوں اور انسانوں کو اگر تمہیں قدرت ہو کہ نکل جاؤ تم کناروں سے آسمان اور زمین کے تو نکل جاؤ، نہیں نکل سکتے تم سوائے زور کے. تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
يُرْسَلُ عَلَيْكُمَا شُوَاظٌ مِّن نَّارٍ وَنُحَاسٌ فَلَا تَنتَصِرَانِ
چھوڑ دیے جائیں گے تم پر شعلے آگ کے اور دھواں، تو پھر نہ کر سکو گے تم ان کا مقابلہ.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فَإِذَا انشَقَّتِ السَّمَاءُ فَكَانَتْ وَرْدَةً كَالدِّهَانِ
پھر جب پھٹ جائے گا آسمان تو ہو جائے گا وہ گلابی تیل کی تلچھیٹ کی طرح.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فَيَوْمَئِذٍ لَا يُسْأَلُ عَنْ ذَنبِهِ إِنسٌ وَلَا جَانٌّ
تو اس روز نہ پوچھا جائے گا اس کے گناہوں کے بارے میں کسی انسان سے اور نہ کسی جن سے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
يُعْرَفُ الْمُجْرِمُونَ بِسِيمَاهُمْ فَيُؤْخَذُ بِالنَّوَاسِي وَالْأَقْدَامِ
پہچانے جائیں گے مجرم اپنے چہروں سے، پھر پکڑے جائیں گے پیشانی کے بالوں اور پاؤں سے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
هَذِهِ جَهَنَّمُ الَّتِي يُكَذِّبُ بِهَا الْمُجْرِمُونَ
یہی ہے وہ جہنم جھٹلایا کرتے تھے جسے مجرم لوگ.
يَطُوفُونَ بَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَ حَمِيمٍ آنٍ
گھومتے پھریں گے وہ درمیان میں اس دوزخ کے اور کھولتے ہوئے گرم پانی کے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
اور جو ڈرا کھڑے ہونے سے اپنے رب کے سامنے، اس کے لیے 2 جنتیں ہیں، تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
ذَوَاتَا أَفْنَانٍ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
بہت سی شاخوں والے درخت، تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فِيهِمَا عَيْنَانِ تَجْرِيَانِ
ان میں 2 چشمے بہہ رہے ہوں گے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فِيهِمَا مِن كُلِّ فَاكِهَةٍ زَوْجَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
ان میں ہر طرح کے پھل 2 قسم کے ہوں گے، تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
متكئين على فرش بطائنها من استبرق وجنى الجنتين دان
تکیہ لگائے ہوئے ہوں گے ایسے بچھونوں پر جن کے استر ریشم کے ہیں، اور پھل دونوں باغوں کے نزدیک جھک رہے ہوں گے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فِيهِنَّ قَاصِرَاتُ الطَّرْفِ لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌّ
ہوں گی ان میں شرمیلی نگاہوں والیاں، نہ چھوا ہوگا جن کو کسی انسان نے ان سے پہلے اور نہ کسی جن نے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
كَأَنَّهُنَّ الْيَاقُوتُ وَالْمَرْجَانُ
گویا وہ ہیں یاقوت اور مرجان.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان
نہیں ہے جزا عمدہ نیکی کی مگر یہ بدلہ ہے اعلیٰ درجے کا.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
وَمِن دُونِهِمَا جَنَّتَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
اور ان دونوں کے علاوہ 2 جنتیں اور ہیں، تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
مُدْهَامَّتَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
دونوں گہری سبز رنگ کی شاداب، تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فِيهِمَا عَيْنَانِ نَضَّاخَتَانِ
ان دونوں میں ہیں 2 چشمے ابلتے ہوئے.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فِيهِمَا فَاكِهَةٌ وَنَخْلٌ وَرُمَّانٌ
ان دونوں میں ہیں پھل اور کھجوریں اور انار.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
فِيهِنَّ خَيْرَاتٌ حِسَانٌ
ان میں ہوں گی نیک سیرت خوبصورت عورتیں.
فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
حور مقصورات فی الخیام
وہ حوریں جو محفوظ ہیں خیموں میں.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان
نہ چھوا ہوگا جن کو کسی انسان نے ان سے پہلے اور نہ کسی جن نے۔
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
متكئين على رفرف خضر وعبقري حسان
تکیے لگائے بیٹھے ہوں گے مسندوں پر سبز رنگ کے اور خوبصورت نفیس۔
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
تو کون سی نعمت کو اپنے رب کی تم جھٹلاؤ گے؟
تبارك اسم ربك ذي الجلال والإكرام
بابرکت ہے نام تیرے رب کا جو صاحب عظمت ہے اور احسان کرنے والا ہے۔
We would like to introduce you with the student of Greenwich University, Ibad Mahmood. He has completed his BBA Marketing and currently completing his MBA in Supply Chain Management. Nigat Welfare Trust was started on 1st February 2014 on his beloved mother's name as she is no more in this world. Nigat Welfare Trust is a non-profit organization. Nigat Welfare Trust wants to work for the betterment of society by providing individuals with basic necessities of life and free medical facilities. Along with studies, Ibad is passionate about serving humanity and is the managing director of Nigat Welfare Trust.
Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. Our society aims to help you firstly identify your goal and then explore all the paths which will lead you to follow your dream career and enable you to manage and upgrade your skills through various seminars and interactive corporate sessions. Join us now on a fulfilling journey.
A certified Deloitte faculty member and business advisor, Mr. Sufyan Yousfi is a partner and head at one of the world's topmost consulting firms, Deloitte, where he serves as a lead business partner for NASA, an international development organization. Mr. Yousfi graduated from Greenwich University and went on to prove his mettle at Carnegie Mellon University, where he also served as a lead recruiting partner and a board member. Mr. Yousfi has been a part of Deloitte's commercial practice in New York City, serving multiple Wall Street financial service clients, large banks, private equity firms, and hedge funds. At present, he oversees multi-dimensional teams tasked with operational resilience, internal controls, cost optimization, trust and transparency programs. His client services include advanced machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analytic capabilities, and managing large-scale operational transformation programs. He has also published in Respond, Recover, Thrive, amongst other digital media platforms.
John is one of the most engaging young men that I've had the pleasure of teaching here at Carnegie Mellon. I met him 6 years ago, and we've become friends, and that has broadened my perspective more than it has his.
I'm glad. Looking at Sufyan, it makes me even more confident to say that the Greenwich University prepared him to get this far, and then he certainly worked hard to realize his own dream.
अगर आप चाहते हैं कि कुछ काम करें, दुनिया में अपना नाम बनाएं, तो अपना जो बेंचमार्क है ना कि आपको क्या बनना है या क्या करना है, वो काफ़ी ऊपर रखें.
He is a loving husband and a true friend. He is always there to help anyone and everyone who's around him. He genuinely cares for people and loves to propel them forward. His positivity is infectious. He loves to spread it around, and he is the life of every party.
सुफियान के बारे में बताना चाहती हूँ. वो शुरू से बहुत आउटस्टैंडिंग बच्चा रहा है, पढ़ने में भी अच्छा था, बहुत सोशल था, बहुत सारे इसके दोस्त अहबाब, और हम हमेशा ही समझते थे कि बहुत अच्छा नहीं करेगा क्योंकि ये सारा सोशल बहुत था, इसकी दोस्ती बहुत थी.
In recognition of his achievements, Greenwich University presents him the Alumni Excellence Award 2022.
Founded in January 2015 as an email marketing firm, eMarketers have quickly expanded itself to become a digital marketing firm offering a one-window solution to its customers. Usman PEG creative thinking and leadership that eMarketers currently offers the market with 6 services which consist of email marketing, branded SMS marketing, social media marketing, search engine optimization, web development services, and photography services to its client. Specializing in business-to-business marketing, we currently possess diverse portfolio of firms which consist of companies such as HP Paper Pakistan, where we are their official vendor for digital marketing Pakistan, NAFA Funds by National Bank of Pakistan, and also serving as official digital marketing partner of IEEP along with Badr Expo.
Japan is an island country in East Asia, located in the Pacific Ocean. It lies to the east of the Sea of Japan, the East China Sea, China, North Korea, South Korea, and Russia, stretching from the Sea of Okhotsk in the north to the East China Sea and Taiwan in the south. The kanji that make up Japan's name means sun origin, and Japan is often called the land of the rising sun. Japan is a member of the UN, the G7, the G8, and the G20. The country has the world's third largest economy by nominal GDP and the world's fourth largest economy by purchasing power parity. It is also the world's fifth largest exporter and fifth largest importer. Japan ranked first in the country brand index. Japan is a developed country with a high standard of living, and the country is ranked high in the Human Development Index. The Japanese population enjoys the highest life expectancy of any country in the world and the third lowest infant mortality rate. Japan is the highest ranked Asian country in the Global Peace Index. Pakistan and Japan have a history of glorious relationships spanning more than 6 decades. Both share age-old ties of common cultures, traditions, outlook, and consciousness. Pakistan's relationship with Japan is based on mutual trust and respect. Both countries have worked for regional peace and stability. Greenwich University's socio-cultural and educational tour is also a step forward by a top-ranking private university in Pakistan to develop people-to-people relations between the two countries.
I'm very thankful for Greenwich University. They took us to Japan, where we visited many different places. Over there, we went to Tokyo Tower, we went to Hosei University, Disney World, we went to Nissan production plant, and many different places. The experience was very different. It is much cleaner, much safer over there, and the people are very nice, but they are quiet, but they are very workaholic.
People in Japan were very nice, very helpful. There might have been a language barrier, but they never hesitated to help us out every time we got lost. I think the city itself was very clean. They were very punctual about timings. 5 o'clock in the morning used to be the rush hour at train stations, and I think that's amazing. I don't think I've ever seen or met people like that who were so work focused, who are so focused generally in life, and I think that's pretty amazing. I don't think Japan would have been a place where I would have visited otherwise. So thank you, Greenwich University, for giving me this opportunity.
Japanese people are workaholic. They wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're very determined. Like a couple of people that I met, they're doing part-time jobs. Like, Japanese people are so determined that they have 3 jobs at a single time. So one job from 9 to 2, and then, so on and so forth. And they're very workaholic people. They're always working. They're always up to something. The norms of Japanese people are very clear, that they're very honest with whatever they do. They're very determined, as I said before, and they're very useful. Like they're very helpful. Whatever problem that first of all, there's a language barrier that we faced in Japan. But other than the language barrier, through determining their actions, they're very helpful. Wherever we got lost and whatever we wanted to find out, they're very helpful in communicating that with us. Hosei University was a wonderful experience. It was a big university, and it was very good. Like we did a presentation there, and it was very resourceful as well. I'm very thankful to Greenwich University to take me as part of the delegation, and I would love to go to Japan another time.
Mount Fuji was surreal. To be honest, it was something I saw it first time in my life, and it was so scenic, it was so beautiful. I remember when I was going up towards to look around the Mount Fuji, I could literally see the clouds touching my foot, and all that, and I could literally feel the pressure of air. It was getting really hard for me to breathe, but it was amazing. It was breathtaking view. To be honest, when I was going to Japan, I was really excited about their technology and to see what they have got, how technological advanced they are. I couldn't agree more that country is completely technically so advanced. When I went there to the factory of Nissan, I saw literally machines doing work over there. Like literally they were just walking beside us, and it was something really new for me. And looking at them made me realize that how technically advanced they are. They don't need they don't need labor. They've got machines to do the labor work. That's differently done in Pakistan, because over here there's more of a human labor than the technical labor. But over there I saw machines doing work, so it was something amazing. Hosei University was a great experience, and I thank Ms. Seema Mughal, who is the Vice Chancellor of Greenwich University, to give me the opportunity, because over there I went on the stage to give out the speech about Greenwich University. It was something really, really good experience, because over there was like Japanese people. They were live like different cultural and from different ethnic backgrounds. And over there, when I was giving speech about my university and how amazing it is, I think I felt really, really great.
और दोज़ख में कैसे जाएगी ये उम्मत रसूल की। धर तो झोली